One of the things that's happening, if you haven't been back to Rochester recently, one of the things that I've been very excited about is how the educational mission and the research mission, which is our primary focus this evening, really have become intertwined.
I don't think it's necessarily following scientists around and trying to prove each other wrong. I think it's more that often communities are really galvanized and excited about particular problems, and they're after the truth. And so in seeking the truth, they test it from different angles and points of view, and sometimes fall on the opposing opinion.
What does academic freedom really mean? It means, by and large, not that you're free to do anything you want, or free to do nothing, or free to do outside work. None of these things are acceptable. It means that you're free from capricious interference with your work.
I'm lucky to enjoy these two parts of the world where creativity is, for lack of a better word, sometimes stifled in production, and then in education it just blossoms and you see light bulbs go off.
The humanities also encourage us to think creatively as well as critically, and I think that balance between creative thinking and critical thinking is important, because we don't want to silo off, these are the creative people and these are the rationalists. I think we have to come together, and I think the humanities allow for that.
Yeah, but that's the perfect use of a university, is to encourage those kinds of cross-disciplinary work and try to understand creativity and music making from a very scientific point of view.
Many places, generally speaking, are either very research focused or they're very education focused. And for an institution to excel in both, as well as clinical care, I think that's a very unusual combination, and Rochester is one of the few places that I can think of that does that really well.
In Rochester, we challenge ourselves by asking that question, like, what is it that we are doing that's unique to us? And the narrative that we came up with is that improving the health and well-being of the region using computation as a lens, while being surrounded by folks like John, who are asking the right ethical questions and challenging us on the implications of our innovation as well as the impact.
When I think about, even the company I run today, Ancestry, we're still at the tipping point of what's possible in a connected world. People are making thousands and thousands of connections to new family members that they would have never discovered without these breakthrough technologies. And we think about what's possible in human health, it gets even more interesting. So I think we're just at this tipping point that globalization means everybody can learn together, everybody can create culture together, everyone can create movements and content and conversation together.
In the same way that when we design studies, we should be designing them with diverse participants, we should have diverse, mindsets, different people in the room. We should have, for technology, it needs to be, especially artificial intelligence and that kind of stuff, we need to have sociologists and philosophers and technologists and engineers and lawyers. All of these people need to come together if this is going to be effective.
So many people in the country afflicted with disease, so few answers. And I think one of the things that keeps us up at night as scientists, as public policy folks, as students, is how do we conquer these diseases and how do we bring solutions to folks? And I think that's one of the heart spaces of the University of Rochester's entire academic medical mission.
Public health model is sort of, we watch what's going on in the world, suddenly new things have emerged. Whether it's coming from an engineering lab, basic science lab, there's lots of steps along the way to see it make a difference.
So this is about the emergence of a global culture instead of a huge number of discrete local cultures. And so the idea of one single interconnected world is, to me, what's really at the heart of what globalization is all about.
We're going to make the right decisions sometimes, and sometimes we'll make the wrong decisions. But at the end, as long as we're constantly learning and evolving, we will become ever better.